Alright, and hello everybody, I'm the SweetBro27, and welcome to another Dokkan Battle video. And Merry Christmas, everyone! I hope everyone has a fantastic Christmas. Even if you don't celebrate the holiday, I just hope that this is an amazing day for you. Happy holidays, no matter what you do. Hope today is just awesome. So, I came up with a little funny idea for Naughty versus Nice. We are running Fusion Zamasu versus Physical Sword of Hope Trunks, but with a stipulation: they can only use super class allies on the Trunks team, and only extreme class allies on the Fusion Zamasu team. And even going further, which I think I'm going to start doing for these showcases versus character thing, we'll do one run with no items. Then for the next run, I will be allowed to use whatever items I see fit, as well as any support memories that I see fit. In this video, we will be using a combination of Whis, Ghost Ushers, and the 200%, not 200%, the 10% buff to Worldwide Chaos, and I think it's Future Saga, the other one, I'm not entirely sure. But in this video, you guys are getting spoiled. There are 3 runs per each character. We are going up against the Divine Wrath stage and the Mortal Will, just because, you know, thematic, naughty or nice. And then at the very end, we'll be going up against the Red Zone Fusion Zamasu. So you guys will get to see tons of fights. A lot of, like, some characters that may or may not be as powerful as others, as you see there over on the right. That EZA Trunks that everyone says is so good, you know, died turn 1. But, you know, it's whatever. And again, it happens. It happens. So as you can see now over on the right, I'm scrolling to get to the correct support memory. And we have intros on and everything, so we can see that Fusion Zamasu is entering over there on the left. Something I found that's very interesting about these two teams with the stipulation, they are very even in terms of power. You'll see that most of these runs, win or lose, will end at around the same time. With, like, you know what I mean? Till I got a victory. They're around the same, and I find that so interesting, because normally with the Fusion Zamasu team, obviously you're going to run, like, Tech Vegito, or any other myriad of characters. But having to only stick to extreme class characters, I had to get a little bit, you know, technical with who I brought. Like, Chilai, for example, was kind of my stand-in for Vegito, not doing nearly as much damage, and not being able to tank nearly as well, which I know that's not saying much. Tech Vegito can't tank anyway. But she has the phenomenal support with, like, the orb changing, the scouter, the dodging. She was really clutch. And we even get to bust out characters like the old LR Fusion Zamasu from last year's Tanabata. When was the last time you've seen this intro animation? It is a sexy one, though, let me tell you what. I'm ashamed with how they treated this character, you know? He never got a chance to shine. It's going to be like 4 years before he gets to EZA, more than likely. It is a shame. That is such... He's a good... Like, he's good. It's just he's not as good as he probably should have been. Which really stinks. I don't know. Personal biases aside, let's start kind of, like, delving into these fights. And speaking of these fights, this video took me multiple days to record, because so few people have Physical Sword of Hope Trunks on their friends list. I understand he's not a great leader. You can run him on Earthbred Fighters. You can run him on STR Future Gohan's team, which is a lot better. Who would have guessed that Future Saga is better than Time Travelers? Not me. Actually, yes, obviously me. The only main difference would be that you could run some of the Dragon Ball Hero characters, which I actually did in a couple of my failed recordings. Because, yeah, failed recordings. I had this idea like 2 weeks ago, and I've had so many failed whatevers, like, things getting interrupted, not being able to have 2 of the same leader, having to grind up just anything and everything. I tried doing different events. I thought doing about different red zones, doing Sen Shinron. There was a lot of work that went into this video, so I hope you guys thoroughly do enjoy this little matchup comparison. Let me know down in the comment section below, are you naughty or nice? Which character do you prefer? Which team do you prefer? Because again, this is like a more realistic kind of dive into boxes, because I don't really have that many characters rainbowed. All of the characters you will see today are Link level 10 as far as I'm aware. I don't think I used any character that isn't a Link level 10. Yeah, I don't think so. But both of these teams are incredibly impressive. And since, again, you are restricted to only Extreme Class or only Super Class, you get to kind of see some fun little gimmicky things that, like, you don't normally get to see. Like, obviously, over there on the left, we have Int LR Fusion Zamasu, Int LR Rose, who is pretty good offensively and can be okay defensively. We get to, like, kind of see some of his tricks. We have a fusion, or we have a Rage Transformation, 2 Rage Transformations, actually, over there on the left-hand side. We get dodging, we get the father-son Gallic gun over here on the right. There's just so many moving parts and so many different pieces that you don't normally get to see because of these artificial restrictions we put on ourselves. Or excuse me, the artificial thing I'm putting on myself. Like, why would I run dual Sword of Hope when they're even running him on Bond and Parent and Child with Vegeta and Trunks? Like, I would much rather run 2 of them than 2 Sword of Hopes. And it led to so many problems with the Sword of Hope team because they really relied on the items. Because outside of Vegeta and Trunks, they don't have a slot 1 character anywhere in my box. Like, again, I did like some runs where I would try using the Time Travelers, and, you know, they were okay, I guess. But without the rest of the team kind of holding up, they just kind of crumbled, and it just ultimately didn't work running the Dragon Ball Heroes characters. I really do gotta stop doing the whole shit. I sound like a buffoon. But I do enjoy doing these videos. They are a lot of fun, just getting to do a bunch of runs, whatever. I can actually, like, watch things while I do this, because when, you know, you do a live recording, obviously you can't have footage going on, but so I can watch, like, YouTube on my laptop or TV, obviously, on my TV screen. So I do enjoy this. I'm still making content while being able to kind of enjoy a little bit of, like, rest and relaxation, or being able to do, like, chores, you know what I mean? I can do, like, other things while, you know, I'm out and about still making content, which is cool. That's why there's been a lot of voiceover content as of late, as well as just because it's easier to do difficult content as a VO than doing it live commentary. Because when you're live commentating, you're obviously kind of have to, like, think about your plays and everything, and then outside distractions can come in and kind of ruin things. Also, did you notice there on the left how Ma Jr. dodged a super attack in his Rage transformation? So goofy. We get a lot of funny dodges throughout the course of this video. The last fight, I'm going to try to remember to point it out, but, like, pay attention to Vegeta and Trunks during the Red Zone Fusion Zamasu fight. I know it's in, like, 20-ish minutes away, but still just pay attention to them, because they literally look like UI Goku at one point. And there on the right, when's the last time you saw Trunks and Mai's active skill? Probably never. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way now. I kind of fumbled with my items throughout several different points of all of these recordings. There were some fumbles recording, or not fumbles recording. Like, I made some questionable decisions with items. Sometimes I thought a character would tank when they wouldn't. Sometimes I wasted an item because a character could have potentially lived. So there is a little bit of buffoonery and tomfoolery and mistakes that were to be had, but we can look past that because this is a fun little time and everything, you know. So we have Ma Jr. launching his active skill over here on the left. We are actually about to kill. I think we do kill on this turn because we do the domain just for shits and giggles, even though it wasn't necessarily required to do this fight. Just a little quick spoiler. But we do the domain and whatever, and we win on this turn. So how did I really feel about this run? I felt like we really dominated it. This whole team, Worldwide Chaos, Realm of Gods, and Fused Fighter, it actually has a pretty heavy int focus, because you have Chilai. You could have run int Izie Zamasu. You could have run Ma Jr. You have the LR Rose. You have LR Merge Zamasu, who is still semi-relevant if you're able to, like, float him and keep him safe. Just so many options. And that's something that's kind of hard to do when doing these little showcasey videos, is I don't want to just run characters in events where they have type advantage, because that's not fair to the other opponent, you know? So that's why we kind of get, like, a variety of fights. I know some people kind of question the Divine Wrath and Mortal Will, saying that, like, it's hard, but it shouldn't matter. I severely disagree. These are hard fights. They are fun fights, and that's super important. And they're also long, because Fusion Zamasu has 95 million HP, whereas Sword of Hope Trunks there has 100,000 HP. So it just takes forever and a day to kill these guys, but you get to see a lot of animations. You get to see a lot of opportunities for tanking, how items interact with character runs and everything. And we're doing just the character lineup now, so you can see the equips that every character is link level 10. And we both finished right here. Now, if you'll notice, we actually died with Sword of Hope, but we were able to, with items, complete a run almost as fast. Like, we were able to do 2 runs in the same amount of time it took me to do 1 run on the Fusion Zamasu team, just because of how explosive the team we are running on the other side is. But to give credit to Fusion Zamasu, there was really never any moment where I thought, hey, you know what, this might be the end. This, you know, like, we might lose because of this. I felt very in control the entire time with all of our gimmicks, all of our damage reduction. We were able to heal a lot, and that's kind of where, like, the naughty side of this comes in. You have a lot of HP recovery, and as long as the correct unit is the one who gets supered every single turn, you're going to be fine. Whereas the nice time traveler team, you are a little bit rockier with, you know, what you're able to get away with, but you're just so explosive that you just blow all of these events away in a heartbeat. And I think it is right here. Yeah, right here. We are now in the the Mortal Will part of the event. And this event is actually substantially harder than the Fusion Zamasu one. Even though, like, in the past I was able to do this in 1 try, I don't know, there's something that just snapped in this Trunks' brain where he's going to just kill you outright. He attacks you way more than Fusion Zamasu, and he has a much slower super attack cooldown, which is very notable, meaning that you are able to get caught a lot easier. Man, I love Vegeta and Trunks so much. Their intro is good, their OSTs are good, just everything about the character is so good. So I guess we can kind of start talking about some of the new characters that we added onto our rosters. Throughout most of this video, the Trunks side stays pretty much exactly the same, because I really didn't have all that many options to sub in, whereas the naughty Fusion Zamasu team, he leaves 3 categories. So you're able to kind of, you know, you can have a couple more Worldwide Chaos characters here and there. You're able to throw in some Realm of Gods if you want to. I believe this is the fight where we introduced the Crimson Masked Saiyan. I couldn't actually see on the wheel down there because on CapCut the video is actually quite tiny, and it's even tinier on the little screen because, you know, it's a screen recording. But Int LR Rose does very well throughout this fight, even though this fight is a lot trickier for the team because, you know, last time I said it's a very int heavy team. We're running a very int heavy team against one of the highest damaging super attack bosses in the game, who attacks 1.5 billion times and turns into a physical enemy towards the end of the fight if you're not able to constantly do enough damage to him, which is, you know, just a bit problematic. And oh yeah, here it is. Crimson Masked Saiyan is now being introduced into the fray. I actually really like running this guy on the team, just because even though his guard is only a 50-50, he links super well with the entire team. He's got really good HP. He can put up some really good attack stats, and mine has 20 dodge, so he just dodges all the time, and very rarely does he ever get caught. And that's amazeballs. And it's less likely that it's going to get caught because we are running Chilai. Chilai was so crucial in all of these runs. I love running her without a leader skill, so imagine running her with a 150, dual 150. She's phenomenal. Now look over there on the right. We have Int Mai, who needs to super attack to get her 70% dodge. We have the Easy A Trunks, who sucks pretty much until like turn 12. And then we have a character who has to get his dodge in slot 3 post super attack. So we just get outright blown away here. No real shocker there, but that's fine because we are able to just go back, dive in with items, and then maybe come back and get a W. I thought about maybe on like the repeat runs, I should have turned off animations, but again, the sake that I have animations on is while I am commentating, and gives me time to kind of look at the other side, because, you know, these animations are playing, so it gives me kind of a moment that you as the audience and me as the guy currently rewatching the footage to commentate over, I can be like, hey, this thing happened here. But then you get into a situation like this where now the Fusion Zamasu team is dead, and I'm, you know, getting the support memory and everything, and I'm gonna have to watch all the animations over there. So there's really nothing really to comment on in this sort of scenario. which I guess is a flub up on my part, but I had no idea how synchronized these teams would be. It is actually kind of scary how in tune these two teams were. You'll see, again, at the very end of this run, the one run was like 10 minutes and 43 seconds, and the other one was 11 minutes and 26, respectively, for each screen recording. And it's phenomenal. Like, the first part was just roughly the same, with the nice time traveler team being just a little bit longer, but that's because they did die. But it's just, I don't know, that kind of blows my mind, because these are a lot of new characters that came out during the Worldwide Download Celebration. We are running some other characters that came out a little bit earlier, but that really doesn't matter. I just think it's cool that these teams are, believe it or not, somewhat on par, because going into this video, I thought surely Fusion Zamasu was just going to absolutely dunk on every single one of these events in my brain. I was like, running a dual lead is going to kind of suck, but I don't know, we can run him in some other events where he may have the advantage. But they were surprisingly even, which makes me feel like I have been sleeping so much so on Sword of Hope. Like, I acknowledge that he's good, but he has the problem where he does too much damage, he kills phases way too quickly, screwing over the rest of his team. That does happen. There have been many instances in my own personal time where, because of him, we'll be in a difficult event stage, on stage 2 or 3, where it's like, okay, characters who need to get hit haven't built up. Characters who need to super attack to get hit, or to build up, haven't built up. And all he really shows for it is you need to get him an 18 key so that he gets a great defense raise. And then you have to keep him on rotation, so that incentivizes you to just do a shit ton of damage to hopefully get to his standby. And I wish a standby was easier to get. I wish everything from the Worldwide Download Celebration, condition-wise, was easier to get. We did get, like, the domain quite a few times throughout all these runs. We do actually get to see the Sword of Hope transformation a couple of times, but it's so rare to get. And that sucks, because either A, you die and you don't get to see them, or you survive until the very end and either you can't get the condition or you win too soon. Because all of them are so good. Like, again, I can't speak on behalf of VB, but VB looks like he's one of the best characters in the game post-transformation. Especially if you get him that guaranteed dodge turn when you use the active skill, like, boom. Easy top 10, I believe. Again, can't speak for the character, don't have him. Sword of Hope Trunks, he's just a defensive god who can launch up 18 million super attack stats. He launches like 12 additionals a turn. And then if you're able to make it to the very next turn, you can launch probably one of the most damaging attacks in the game. And then you have Future Gohan, who creates his own domain. He has the immense amount of buffs. He does crits for the entire turn. He massively raises attack. It's awesome. And then you have the domain for Fusion Zamasu, where, you know, you orb change. He's immune to damage. It's just, all of them were so good. They cooked, except for their conditions, which is so lame. That's why I like so many characters that, like, if you were on a rotation with 2 superheroes, you can use the active skill on turn 3 or on turn 6. Boom. Right there, you have 2 possible ways of doing it. And to be fair, they do also have 2 ways of doing it, but it's super restrictive. It's like you need a certain amount of HP on a certain turn with certain, like, categories on your team. It just doesn't work out that well. But you know what does work out really well? The Vegeta and Trunks active skill, which is one of the best in the game. I stand by that to this day. It does so much damage, and it increases the entire rotation's defense, so you can keep some of your weaker units much safer, which is so viable, especially on this team where, again, Vegeta and Trunks are really like our only good defensive option on the team. Trunks is super scary because he can only get a maximum of 30% damage reduction, which is extremely, extremely low. And if you're not getting all of those supers, he gets like no damage reduction, and then you have to rely on raw defense when his defense, it is not enough unless you launch just a quadrillion amount of super attacks. So again, it's very scary. But, you know, it can happen. You know, you can be put into a position where you're like, all right, we're cooking, we're good. Everything's going to be A-OK. And I think coming up here shortly, both of these Trunkses are going to transform. We're now into the Int phase on the left-hand side, which means things are getting a lot scarier. Now his super attack does more damage. Both of my Tech Fusion Zamasus no longer have their immense levels of damage reduction. They're just at a measly 40, which is, again, really low. I mean, I've had characters who have 60%, 50% damage reduction built into their passive, but their HP is just so low. I mean, their defense is just so low that you get sold out, you get frauded, and it is a massive, massive shame. You see me over here on the left really contemplating on whether I want to use an item or not. And over here on the right, we are now entering Sword of Hope territory again. And we have the guaranteed dodge turn. So we're actually about to have an extremely powerful turn over here. We're about to have guaranteed dodging VB. We have Vegeta and Trunks. No, we don't. I'm lying. I'm a buffoon. That was a different recording. My fault. But because we have a guaranteed dodge, we now actually have a slot 1 character. And normally this Trunks, I found he does super attack. Not immediately. Your slot 1 character will normally get to super attack first. And then there will be a super attack. But I actually do a Ghost Usher because I was afraid of Easy A Trunks. Man, I shit on that Trunks so much. I apologize, but I guess if you're tech and your name is Trunks, almost all of your characters suck. But hey, summon for Super Trunks when it comes to global and tell me how you beat all the events. I'm sorry, it's very fun to shit on that character because I don't know, maybe he actually is a god, but 50% guard chance on a team with 3 or more Android/Cell Saga characters, where Android/Cell Saga is kind of a dead category. I don't know. You tell me, what do you think about that? And we get the Crimson Mass Sand transformation, something you will see several more times. Actually, no, we won't. Again, I'm thinking of yet another failed recording. But this guy, once he transforms, he has the guaranteed guard. He can launch a ton of additionals. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys here. This is where I fumbled. I saw how low HP the guy had. I thought for sure we would have killed this turn. So I do use an item here, but I should have used a Ghost Usher. I instead used just a simple Whis. If I had done a Ghost Usher, we would have won on the next turn. But sadly, I did not do that. I was a buffoon. I put a little bit too much trust in Aunt Zamasu there at the end. I figured, I don't know, maybe he could get some more orbs. Because maybe if he launched an 18 key and then got an additional, he could have survived. But I'm pretty sure he gets tagged with a super attack during this run, which we would not have lived even if we quad supered. That just wasn't in the cards. I was really hoping he was going to super here in the middle slot. That's why I put the Crimson Mass Sand there. Because A, if he's guarding, that's just, guard. He actually does get a pretty impressive defensive stats on a turn where he launches several additional supers, which he did not do. And mine does have the 20 dodge, so he does kind of dodge, bob and weave left and right. I gave him a very good build. I'm quite proud of how I built the Dragon Ball Heroes characters. But unfortunately, over here on the left, this is actually going to be the end, whereas on the right, it's about to be the end, but for completely different reasons. We're about to win. The Sword of Hope standby is so immensely powerful. I actually think it might be the most powerful character I have in my box. He creates orbs, he does so much damage, and in slot 1, I have yet to see him take significant damage from all of my runs personally when I've run him on other teams. You are able to launch that standby, and then he is just good. He is that guy. And then again, he does so much damage, but at that point, you're at turn 5, or it's his 5th turn. You know what I mean? 'Cause again, you have to actually keep him on rotation to get to the standby, which, again, it's not my favorite condition in the universe. It's a little stupid, but that's neither here nor there. You get it, and then for that one turn, you have one of the most powerful characters in the game. Like, I would argue it could maybe be better than Orange Piccolo, because he can't die. The rest of the rotation maybe could, but he cannot die. And if you're able to make it back to that same rotation, the finish attack does so much damage. We don't actually get to see the finish attack during the rest of this video, but that's neither here nor there. Just knowing that you have that in your back pocket is awesome. So we're on to the very final set of runs for this video. Fusion Zamasu Red Zone. Now, tell me, quick, fast, how do you think the run is going to go for both of these teams without items? Because let me tell you, it's not going to be good. It's actually really funny. You kind of see me stagger here on the right because Vegeta and Trunks intro did not play. That's because they need a Bond and Parent and Child category ally to activate it. I thought it was just Fusion or Future, or Bond and Parent and Child. So I was a little kind of questioning what happened there, and we got a very, very crucial dodge from Vegito over there. And did you guys see how many times my Vegeta and Trunks dodged? I said I would try to point this out, and I remembered. Just watch how many times they dodged throughout this turn. This entire turn, I got so many dodges. It is miraculous. Like, it's genuinely astounding. I'm not even paying attention to what's happening there over on the left. We ate that super attack. Yum, yum, yum. Awesome. But look at this. It's just so many dodges, so many bobs, so many weaves. It was amazing. And if you think that turn was amazing, wait till you see the next one. Just, again, a bit of foreshadowing. There is a lot of dodging coming in. But the fact that we would have been dead had Vegito not dodged that AoE. And I believe my Vegito is just 6 dodge. Because, you know, obviously he has the 70% chance to dodge in slot 3. He has the guaranteed dodge the first turn that he turns blue. So I feel like it's a little bit foolish to invest in his dodging capabilities when he can be so explosive offensively. I normally like giving, you know, the defensive build or whatever. But if a character is that explosive, you gotta, like, you know, you gotta jump on that. They launch so many additionals. So if you give them crits, especially like on their active skill turn, which again is kind of hard to get to because it's post-transformation turn, which doesn't always happen. And if we look over here on the left, we're actually bringing Int Cell. Why am I bringing Int Cell? Well, this is another difficult fight that ends in a physical phase. So you may be wondering, well, why the hell are you bringing an Int unit in that instance? Well, it's because so much of my team is actually Int. If we were able to get to low enough HP to transform into Super Perfect Cell, I thought he would be more than capable of tanking any normals. Not supers, mind you, but any normal I thought he would have taken just completely fine. And then, you know, you also get the full HP recovery. He does just so much damage. Like, he can also launch like a 20 million attack stat. And did you notice how they both died like almost relatively the same time? Again, I know it's just like coincidence that it's so in sync that way, but it's funny to me that they happen because I wouldn't expect that. Because looking at this team roster, obviously, at least what I thought obviously, was that the Fusion Zamasu team was much more stacked. But no, the Time Traveler team, I have been sleeping on this team. I mean, obviously, again, there were billions of better teams in this game. Billions, there's only like 100. But they're like good, you know? Like, all of these characters are good in a vacuum. I just figured having them be under the same category without having that many good slot 1 options where you could run Future Saga, run the exact same team, except you have Future Gohan. I thought it would be a completely different story. But they really, again, I'm just blown away. I love this game so much. So yeah, I just kind of, I'm just saying that there's so many little fun instances. I love trying to like predict things with the game just because how much I play it and how much my knowledge of it, like damage rolls and stuff. It's just fun. It's just fun. I love this game. So this is now both of the final attempts. Will either one of these teams be able to beat Fusion Zamasu with items? I'm not going to spoil, but just stick around because these are some good-ass runs. And Gohan in this support memory looks so goofy. I don't know why, but his head just looks so big in that. He's like a little bobblehead, in my opinion. And I really haven't been commentating over these runs too terribly yeah. My goodness, I'm just all over the place. I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm excited for the holidays. I hope everyone else is as well and that they had a very good holiday. Again, don't watch this actually on Christmas. Spend Christmas, again, with your friends, your families, whoever. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, just let this day be a great day. You can watch it on the 26th. It'll be fine. And I guess I should also kind of announce that on the YouTube because I've only announced it on the live streams that I do, twitch.tv/@thesweetbread27. But I won't be able to really record or edit or do anything for a long time because of the holidays. It'll likely be until the new year that I'll be able to get back into the groove. So a lot of YouTube video content. There's going to be a lot of VODs being posted. I'm going to see how many Dokkan videos I can record between now and the 27th. I have a standard that I want videos to meet, so I'm not just going to pump out a bunch of like shittier videos. I have deleted videos in the past that I just wasn't proud with. But we will see just kind of how I'm feeling, what I'm able to actually accomplish. Come the new year, January 1st, hopefully I will be back and ready with a vengeance with some Dokkan. Hopefully by then we'll actually get some new events, new content, because that will be post New Year celebration, which is not being synchronized on global. I think we're getting Super Trunks next, so look out for that. I'm not summoning. No one can make me summon. That's just not happening. I promise you it's not. I'm not going to buckle down and be like, oh, I'm not going to summon, and then do. No way. The only way you could get me to summon is if you had guaranteed LR Bulma on the banner. And unfortunately, there on the right, the Time Traveler team did fold and fumble, even with the usage of items and support memories. But hey, that happens. This is one of the hardest fights in the game. I don't blame them for it. They did way better than my expectations would have ever imagined. I am quite proud of how they did. So if everybody thought that the Time Traveler team would win, I don't know. Let me know, again, in the comment section down below, which team did you kind of think would be the winner of the whole entire round? Right now, it's 2-1, so theoretically, the Extreme Naughty team could tie it up, assuming they win the Red Zone battle. But yeah, this was just fun. We're going to snap cut. That wasn't a very clean snap cut, but we're going to snap cut the footage over here back into the center. And now we're just going to have our focus centralized on this one final run. But just so many of these runs were fun. I implore anybody who is a little bit bored of Dokkan or whatever, just do fun little challenge runs like this. Doing a full Extreme Class Fusions of Also team, it does kind of cripple you because there are characters that are good that you can't use anymore just because they're super class. The one that always comes to mind is Tech Vegito, but there are plenty of other options I feel sure that you could use instead. Like I also run Gogeta. So right there, those are two perfect floating units that are no longer available on this team lineup. So yeah, if you ever feel burnt out, do something fun like this. And yeah, you know, it's just little cool stuff. I don't know. I'm just happy. I hope you guys are happy again today too. Also, can we talk about this thumbnail that I made? I have never been more proud of a thumbnail. This is quite literally the greatest thumbnail of all time. I know probably no one cares, but I put a lot of time into my thumbnails and I'm always like really proud with how they come out. But this one in particular, just because of how holly and jolly and merry and festive it is, I just think it's stupid fun. And that's what I'm all about. Stupid fun, good vibes, good times. This entire video has just been me kind of gushing and talking about whatever. Again, I haven't really even been focusing on the runs. If you want my opinion on these characters, I do still think that Fusion Zamasu as a character is better than Trunks. And I do think, obviously, he has the much better team because he has that perfect leader skill where you can have almost any extreme character on it. They're just on a 150 lead, so that's how we're able to run Chilai on leader skill. And we did actually get the Cell transformation. How often do you see that Cell revive? I don't think you really get to see that too often anymore, mostly because he is a little power corrupt in some of these more difficult events. But again, he is very explosive and super fun. But yeah, I just wanted to gush about this thumbnail. I just wanted to get that out into the universe. I was super proud of this. I had a blast making it. It's super funny. It's parodying my normal, like, this character versus this character where it has, like, the flame background with, like, the lightning or whatever. It's just a parody, naughty or nice. I don't know. I thought it was goofy. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this little wacky concept I had. If you have any wacky concepts, character versus or whatever, these videos always do very well. You guys like to see, like, these things, especially, like, the Kai Goku versus 23rd World Tournament Goku. That video absolutely blew up. So thank you guys for that, and I hope I can continue to entertain and impress you. But on this rotation, I guess I'm going to actually start paying attention. The Tech Fusion Zamasu will only have 40% damage reduction, whereas the AGL Zamasu has 50. So I put him at a slot 1, hoping that that would be where the super attack was. And as we saw there, it wasn't. So I was super afraid that it would actually be in slot 3. Now, Cell could dodge, but unless he quadruple supered, I don't think his defenses would be high enough. And unfortunately, this is actually going to be the end of the run. Nearly 800,000 damage on that super attack to Tech LR Fusion Zamasu, which was a bit of a bummer, but I've said this 1,000 times. At this point, 40% damage reduction just isn't enough. And I got a little frustrated here at this point because I ran out of my attempts, so I actually had to go to my team list and, like, show the characters in this way. And I don't know why, but it just made me feel like, I don't know, just something goofy. Not what I normally do, so I just thought I looked a little bit buffoonerish. But that's going to be all for this time, guys. I have been the SweetBro27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an up-and-coming YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter, a Twitch, and a TikTok, the links of which can be found in the description of this video. So while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment. One final time, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone just has a fantastic day. Let me know in the comment section down below. How was your Christmas, or how was your December 25th, whatever it is. I hope I will be able to make a lot more content for you in this upcoming year. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to even create content in the first place. None of what I do would be possible without your continued support. So thank you so much. 2024, hopefully, we're going to keep the grind up. I hope I can continue to impress. Who knows? Maybe we'll have 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't know. I'm going to have to bust my balls, but I'm going to try. So, Merry Christmas. I don't know if I'll be able to do a Happy New Year, but just in case, Happy New Year. And yeah, that's going to be all for this time, guys. So as always, I have been the Sweeper 27, and I am signing off.